Hey, so I really don't know how I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about, but I have to talk about it because, um, you read the title correctly. I have mental issues, and I've had these since I was like a little kid, probably. So, being young, I've always had a lot of problems with myself. Um, First of all, the main thing, the one thing that is like that I absolutely hated since I was a little kid and still hate probably today, even though I really shouldn't. I hated when a lot of people laugh, like at the same time, like more than 10 people, I want to say. And that is something that I really cannot explain to you. Uh, it's I I don't exactly have Schadenfreude, where you're like happy that someone else is hurt when they're not feeling good, but like when other people feel good, I don't feel good. And when a lot of people laughed, especially in school, whenever that happened, I got so angry. I was shouting and even hurting people. I was punching them. And and other than that, mental issues have probably also included some kind of eating disorders. Like there are a lot of foods that I don't eat, that I don't want to eat. I don't like a lot of vegetables aside from maybe carrots and corn, if if corn is a vegetable. Uh, and I like fruits a lot more, but even those I don't like all of them, like watermelon and pineapple, kiwi, those kinds of things. And yeah, eating disorders have been and other things that are really healthy for other people. I just don't like them because of their taste, uh, or even because of their looks. Um, so yeah, I could be called a fussy eater. Um, but but that's not the main problem. I just really hate that I most of the time I have to eat a lot of sweets and other things that aren't good for you and for your body. That's really terrible to do, but honestly, that kind of brings me joy. But as I said, I don't really like eating that many things that I don't like seeing, basically. But that's not the main issue, even though my body is probably really bad right now. But the main issue is, as I said, laughing is something that this is weird type of mental state. Uh, I don't know, I don't laugh too often. Like most of the time when I laugh, it's like on internet videos and mostly YouTube poops nowadays. And sometimes when I laugh, sometimes I laugh really hard at some jokes on the internet, and sometimes at other people. That's like really really hard, like probably for a minute or even more sometimes. That's also probably a mental problem, but I don't know. But other people laughing, I've always hated that, and I have no idea why. I don't know if this is like some kind of bipolar disorder where you're like at one point you're really really sad and depressed, or on the other you're really really happy and just happy to be alive. Uh, and that's another thing. Depression, like it's it's terrible. I wouldn't call myself suicidal, right now, but I just I'm sad and angry a lot of the time at the world, and not in a mood where I want to make jokes. But as I said, main problem, laughing in schools. In Hungary, there's this thing where like elementary schools are for 8 classes, and then like middle school for like 4 or 5 classes, and then so on. So yeah, 8 years of elementary school, and every single year I would cause some kind of like I don't know, like problem. Like I hurt people, I attacked them, I also like insult them. There were a lot of cases like that. Um, like from the ages of 7 to about to 15, I would say from 7 to 15. From those ages, I was in elementary school, and there were like a lot of problems. Like I remember in eighth class, the last year was the most problematic probably, uh, and I've had some really big. That was probably my lowest point there. Um, like I remember once in physics class, we had a short little test, and there was a girl who I liked. I've actually mentioned her in one of my videos like a really long time ago, but like I actually liked her, but she had like a horrible personality, honestly. And then we were like writing this little physics test, and while I was like concentrating, we were all really quiet, and she all of a sudden laughed out loud, and I don't know. I think that scared me so much that scared me. And what I did, I this is still terrible. I picked up a chair and I smashed it on her back, and I got into trouble for that. Um, and then next class was sports, and I was telling the guys in the dressing room, about my mental issues and how I was scared, and that's why I did it. Uh, After that, I wasn't in trouble anymore. I got a few, warnings about not to do that anymore. And technically, I didn't. But like 2 weeks later, uh, my mother asked if uh, my mother asked us, the girl and me, if I had apologized to her already, and the girl said it's not a problem anymore. Uh, but I think it was still a pretty big problem, and then it just kept getting worse. Especially at the beginning of 2020. And then in the middle of March rolls around, and boom, there's no school anymore. There's just full on online learning for the last 3 months of elementary school, which was terrible. Um, but it was probably better for my mental health. And then I graduated elementary school and middle school. I had hoped would be better, but somehow it was even worse. Like the people there, especially right now, I'm in second grade of middle school right now. So, well, technically speaking, now 10th grade, as you call that in other words. And as I said, I'm in 10th grade in middle school, and it's like the people there just kind of don't accept me, and they're like talking and like they're talking really stupidly and about random things that are basically like things that I don't know a lot of things about, and that's a pretty big problem. Uh, and I couldn't really seem to fit in, and I tried to talk to them for like a long, long time, but a lot of the time they were just ignoring me, like, and they were like talking so weirdly, and when I insulted them, they would try to insult me back somehow, probably. I don't know, or sometimes I insulted them and they didn't say anything. But it's like, and they viewed themselves so highly. It was like the most. It's like the most egotistical people I have ever met. And then it was fine in like first grade, but I had already in like ninth grades, or in other words, first grade of middle school, I already threatened them, uh, and that was pretty bad for my reputation, and I have no idea. That's probably why they haven't talked to me that much, and that was a problem because we were only there for like 2 months at first in ninth grade, and then we had 6.5 months of online learning, just no school, just online learning, and then at the end of ninth grade we went back to school. And then here comes beginning of 10th grade, now the beginning of September, and there's no online learning anymore. We can already go to school, and like as I said, the most egotistical type of you know things that they did and things they said. And there was one girl who I am friends with. Uh, well, we'll see how that pans out in the future. But like, I was friends with this girl for like 3.5 weeks. We just suddenly started talking, and then she asked on the second day of school if she could sit next to me. I said yes, and we started talking, and I spoke to her already about my mental issues. She's already seen me insulting others and being angry a lot of the time. Uh, but she said it was not a problem, honestly. And like as I said, the egotistical type of of things they said. Good lord, and sometimes I accepted that, but it all culminated on Thursday when I was like, with, as I said, laughing by multiple people is something that I almost cannot stand. And I was with the class, and we had a replacement physics teacher. Apparently, the physics teacher wasn't there that week, so we had another replacement, and that is an informatics teacher, or more like, like a, someone who works with computers, that kind of teacher. And he had this job for like 40 years already, and he has so many stories, like comedic stories of his past. I seriously doubt that he never tried to be a stand-up comedian, because good lord, this man has a lot of stories to tell to people, and that's also kind of not really my thing, even though I do like some kind of insulting comedy or insane comedy or stuff like that, but that's not for like live sets. It's more like audiobooks. That's why I've been listening to George Carlin's audiobooks a lot lately. Because the man was just such a genius. But as I said, I hated laughing by multiple people so much that I just listened to his audiobooks instead. And those were seriously like the funniest things I have heard in a long, long, long time. And he was just such a genius, and I'm so like absolutely like it's a shame that he died. He would have to say a lot of things in this timeline if he was still alive. If he was still alive, he'll have a lot of things to say right now. But like as I said, this man tells some kind of comedy, and like the people in my class have this like very very strange type of humor. Like it's kind of like meme humor, but like somehow even worse. Like it's like in being intentionally stupid is like humor nowadays, and that is and being intentionally stupid is stupid, and like it's like they're and they said they're just, or I don't know if they said this, but it's I've come to the realization that it's probably that they just pretend to be stupid intentionally. But here's the thing: even if you're being intentionally stupid, that is still stupid. I'll just tell you that right now. And then like he talked to us about how he had this one test where he like got a job or something, and he presented us that one question that he has had in his mind for like 30 years, the one that he solved to have this job, and then he told us that, and we tried to like, I don't know, like solve that. I also said something, but I don't know if that was the right answer, honestly. And then like one of the guys who is like seriously one of the guys who tells the most jokes and is one of the most intentionally stupid people. They're not stupid. I'm not saying they're stupid. I'm saying they're pretending to be stupid. That's what I'm saying. And like the teacher said, shall I read what you wrote? And like people were laughing at that, obviously, like he did not know the answer like whatsoever. And I could not take that anymore. Literally, the girl who was sitting next to me is the one friend I had, basically. And I could not take the laughing anymore. And what I did was I took out a pen, and then I stabbed the guy who was sitting in front of me in the neck. Yep. And then one person said to me, "Can you please calm down already?" And I was like, just no. Why do you guys laugh after every single word? And then we just sat there in like 15 seconds of silence. Good lord, it just spat everywhere. 15 seconds. We sat there in like 15 seconds of silence, and then one guy tried to get back to solving the question, and another guy pointed out that the guy I stabbed, his neck was bleeding. And I looked at his neck and realized, oh good lord, that is a lot of blood. And I was so stupid, I did not know that was going to cost so much blood. And the one thing that I most regret about that is that instead of giving him a tissue, I was like, nope, I am not doing this. And I noped out of that classroom. I just went out of that classroom. I went to the head teacher, who was seriously like a really nice teacher. I went to the head teacher, who was on the same who was on like the same on the same floor, and I confessed to her what I did. She was also really shocked, and I wanted to help the person after that, but nope. I had to go to the to like not exactly the principal's office, outside of the principal's office, and then just sit there in silence until uh, somebody from the school had to bring me to my mother, where she worked, and yeah, like and that was another problem with my classmates. Like they made fun of everything, even my mental issues. They made fun of. They could make fun of literally anything, and then I was brought to my mother, and then she told me, you have to go home, do whatever you like. I don't care anymore. And that's another thing. My mother is like, and she is not that supportive of me, really. And what I mean by that is that she cares about what I do, but she's like really overprotective, and she doesn't want me to do a lot of the things that I want to do. Uh, and well, you know, and all the time she's just complaining and complaining and complaining about the world and about me as well. She's only talking to me like, "Why did you stab this person? Do you not have a brain?" And I'm like, "No, this is a personality that I have. I wanted this to go away for a long time, but it's like it cannot go away." And she says, that doesn't change the fact that that what you did was terrible." And she's only complaining about this, and you're like, and it's like, can you not? Can you stop pointing these things out? Haven't I been through enough? And yeah, so I went home. I wrote an apology to the class in Microsoft Word and put it in the group chat on Facebook Messenger. And then later on, the head teacher wrote to me saying that it would be better if the next day you didn't go to school. So on Friday I didn't go to school, and then I went to my grandmother's for the weekend. And then yesterday, which was Sunday, I got an email saying that from the head teacher again, saying that she and the principal have said that I should go to school for the next few days. So today, my mother went to work. I'm here home alone right now, and I was just, calming myself down. And then my mother calls me. She went to the school to talk with the head teacher and probably even the principal. And uh, and then my mother called me and said, "Hey, the head teacher and principal said that they'll have to let you go," which is uh, which is really hard to accept. I seriously cannot accept the fact that I'm being thrown out of this school, because it's like this is like one of the best schools in the city, I would say. Like I like people in that school act stupid, but it's like that's nothing compared to others. Like I have this idea of what other schools are like, which aren't like in the middle of the city. Those schools are like people are even more intentionally stupid and loud and just not caring about anything at all. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to a school like that. But I guess I have to accept the fact that this is happening. I got thrown out, and honestly, I don't know if this is like, I don't honestly know why these mental issues are here. But like I'll tell you guys another thing. So yeah, I have autism. Yeah, autism. I I have been since I was really young, and I really have no idea why. Like even my mother told me, the reason you have mental issues is not autism. That's not the reason. And I agree. Uh, this angry personality of mine that I wanted gone for such a long time has still not went away, and now because of it, I was thrown out of school, and it's hard to accept that, and I don't know what's gonna. I'm gonna lose so many people, all the nice teachers, all the actual nice kids at school. I'm just gonna probably never see them again unless I hold the connection with them. Uh, so yeah, mental issues everywhere, being thrown out of middle school, having to find another school probably, and it's it's terrible. It's honestly so absolutely horrible. I seriously cannot accept this, but I have to. I'm just that kind of person. And like the thing is, I've been insulting and hurting people so much over the years. That's not who I am. I don't want myself to be that kind of person. But these mental issues about hating when groups of people laugh, it's just so terrible. And I cannot um I cannot throw those feelings away unless I learn to laugh with other people or at least accept the fact that they're laughing. I have to accept that. I have to learn that. And I do learn that, but for some reason, for some inexplicable reason, it still happened. It's the anger still came out full force. This is the pinnacle of stupidity. And I really don't know what to do about that. And making videos has been just a chore. I seriously have, I don't know if I have any video ideas anymore. It's just so frustrating. And honestly, I don't know. Making videos for 5 years, I probably started this all because of boredom or because of interest probably. And I just wanted to put this video out there and say, yes, I do have all these mental issues. I've hurt people, but I don't want to be that person. I want to be accepted. I want to be talked about even just a little bit. I don't want to be egotistic, honestly. But I do want people to at least care a little bit about me. Like sometimes talk to me, sometimes interact with me and such, but yeah, personal life, personal mental issues, uh that's as far as those things go. So, it's just something I wanted to put out there. I'll uh I'll see you guys next time whenever I have the chance to do that again and yeah, see you next time. Stay safe.